Musician, songwriter, worship leader, teacher, speaker, coach, husband, and father. I'm talking about Eddy Mann next on the Chris Top program.
The Top, broadcasting live to at least 3 people on Spreaker.com.
As I sit here, I look down at this once great city. Its past riddled with manipulation, deception, and lies. If you weren't so blinded by your own obsession, you'd see the true villain. The mirror doesn't lie. Take a good look, and you'll see everything you truly detest. The future uncertain with the exception of one small detail. I am here to stay. No matter what you throw at me, no matter what you do to me, I'll keep coming, and I'll keep coming. I am the Dork Knight.
Portions of the day's programming are reproduced by means of electrical transcriptions or tape recordings.
You can either talk in the Chris Top program.
I am the one and only Chris Top.
You can either talk in the Chris Top program.
Broadcasting live from my lavish studio apartment.
The VCR and the DVD, there was a night of that flat back in 1970. What didn't know about the World Wide Web was a whole different game being played back when I was a kid. Wanna get down in a cool way, picture yourself on a beautiful day. Big bell bottoms and groovy long hair, just walking in style with a portable MP3 play. You can listen to the music on the Chris Top program. You can hear the music on the Chris Top program.
This is the Chris Top program.
And I'm the one and only Chris Top, broadcasting live from our lavish home studio from sunny Clarksville, Tennessee, with an ocean view.
How in the hell are you doing, world?
Oh, how in the hell are you doing, world?
What's up?
It is an absolutely beautiful day.
It really
I think I was
is.
taken back because I was looking up into the blue skies, and it is absolutely beautiful. Do you feel accomplished?
I do. I really do. Because
Yeah,
I'm pushing myself more in the workouts, and I'm sweating, and I'm like, yeah!
Yeah, because we got up early for us.
We did, and I was like, yesterday, I was like, I'm low-key not looking forward to the next day because I don't want to get up early in the morning, but I'm having fun. Like, I actually feel energized, which is weird, and I'm actually, looking forward to the rest of the day. I get to spend it with you, so that's a plus.
Yeah, well, thank you for that. And, we've got all these fun shows lined up, but then we're done at 3, so we're going to go walking again, and then tonight we're going to have some chicken and some sweet potatoes and stuff like that. So Ashley's coming over, so it should be fun. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the next walks.
Yeah, she's going to walk with us too, isn't she?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Sweet.
And we got the tough one out of the way already.
Mm-hmm. Now we just have to do the less tough one.
Yeah. And we had to stop by Seasons Market because I didn't lose any weight last week. I didn't gain any, but I didn't lose any either. So I've got to step up the game again because I thought we stepped it up enough last week, but evidently not. I mean, it worked for you. You lost another pound.
Yeah, I lost a pound. I'm at 128 now.
Yeah, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm wanting to get to 120. So we'll see.
So we'll see how it goes.
That strength training that we might be doing, though, that might be the one
that might be what we need to kind of push us over.
Uh-huh.
So
I'll probably gain weight with that.
I don't think so.
Good weight, muscle weight.
I don't think so. But anyway, we've got Eddy Mann on the show today. Looking forward to talking to Eddy. Lots of stuff to talk to him about because he's got a big list of things that he does, and I need to figure out how he finds time to do it all. Because if we're going to squeeze in 3 days of weight training, then we're going to have to make time for that. So we might become morning people. I don't know.
I'm not a morning person.
Well, you say that now, but I don't know. Something's got to give eventually. I don't know.
Wait, is that a drill?
I figured I'd work on some home improvement stuff.
Where did you get a drill?
It doesn't matter because now I have the power.
Bruh.
You don't even know how to use a drill.
Oh, I know how to use a drill.
Chris, you're gonna hurt yourself again. Just call Exact Construction.
I don't know. I'm feeling pretty manly.
Look, just call Jory at Exact Construction. They handle electrical, plumbing, carpentry, drywall, painting, wood flooring, repair, remodel, and service calls. They do everything.
Okay. What's the number?
931-809-8098.
That's Exact Construction, done exactly how it should be. Exact Construction. That's X-A-C-T Construction, a proud sponsor of the Chris Top program.
Did you ever think you could afford an interior designer?
No, way too expensive. Besides, I've got style.
If you had style, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
Ouch. Interior designers are for rich people.
Magnolia Emporium.
Magnolia Aquarium? Is that like for some crazy flower fish?
No, Magnolia Emporium. Randy's clients range from nurses and teachers to musicians, actors, and even some royalty thrown in there.
Oh, I'd be on the royalty side.
You really don't have any swag, do you?
No, I don't.
That's where Randy comes in. He listens to exactly what you want, whether it's spoken or unspoken.
Okay, if you mean he can read my mind, there's lots of things I don't want Randy to know.
No, he has a great feel for what he does.
Okay, where can I find Magnolia Emporium?
Just go to magnoliaemporium.com.
We want your space to reflect your success.
You are absolutely, positively, 100% for sure in the right place. This is the Chris Top program, and I want to thank everybody that's listening to the podcast on iHeartRadio, on Stitcher, on Spreaker, all those good places. And, of course, those of you who are listening to us live on the ChrisTopProgram.com. Feel free to join the website page and leave your questions, comments in the chat. You can tweet with us. We'll try to check those. You can Facebook with us, all that good stuff. I'm spread
I'm
pretty
sitting over
thin.
here taking selfies.
Yeah, I'm spread thin. It's hard for me to check all this stuff. It really is, because I get lost in the conversation sometimes. Mm-hmm. And when people say things, I don't check it until after the show. Then I feel bad.
Like, oh wow, there's like a bajillion messages.
Yeah, they asked Eddy Mann like 85 questions, and I missed them all for some reason. So, Eddie, how are you today, buddy?
Wonderful. Good to be with you.
Well, it's good to have you on the show. And, I don't know where to start with you because you've got a big list of stuff that you're involved in, and I kind of want to know, and this may be a really difficult question for you to answer, I'm not sure, but, musician, songwriter, worship leader, teacher, the list goes on and on. Husband, father. So, what do you categorize these things, or do you put them in order of importance, or is it just who you are?
No, it's a good question. It really is. It's who I am. I don't have any preconceived ideas, or I didn't as I was moving through life, and I still don't. I just kind of go with the flow when opportunities are there. I want to be prepared to take advantage of them, and so yeah, I wear a lot of hats, but. What I've come to know is that whatever I'm doing at the moment is always the most important thing. I don't really want to discount anything that kind of comes up on my plate in life. Sure. So at any given moment, whatever it is that where my mind, body, and where I find myself, that's the most important thing, and I just put 100% into that, and it's helped me to keep a good balance of things. Sometimes it's just you need to just be away with family, or I just need to be away with my wife, or sometimes I just need to be off in a corner by myself.
Now, is your family cool with it when you have to have some time to yourself and work on your music, whether it's songwriting or maybe you have a gig or something like that? Or do they support you 100%? Or are they like, I wish you'd spend more time at home. Have dinner with us once in a while.
No, fortunately, my girls have always been really receptive. I think it's a family of creatives, so we all kind of relate to having to be in a certain spot at a certain time. And when my girls were growing up, we'd be at the beach, and I'd be inspired by something, and I'd be writing, and they just or look at my face, and they'd say, "Yeah, Dad's writing again. He'll be back in a minute." So, I write all the time. I'm inspired all the time. So, So it wasn't like it was just. It's an everyday, ongoing thing. They just kind of, I kind of go in and out of it, and it's they've done a great job. I have a project studio at home, so I do a lot of work at home, and they've been great over the years at understanding. When the kids are growing up, it's a little bit more difficult. They don't understand what's going on, and when they were, but as they understood things and all, they were really good at kind of accepting that this is okay. This is the lifestyle. We get Dad around the house a lot more for periods of time. Then we're going to lose him for a little bit, but when he's here, this is just how it is.
Got to make the most of it.
And when they were very young, I actually took a season off from playing and actually taught for a while, just so that I could be Dad, so I could be around them. I wanted them to know what I looked like, and I wanted to see them change and grow up, and so I took a season off and just taught and kind of hung out with them a lot.
Oh, nice. Now, how old are your daughter? You have 2 daughters, right?
Yes, they're both. I was going to say that they're grown and we don't have to worry about them anymore, as if that ever happens.
Right.
As my father called me this morning, worried about me. So you know how that works. No, my youngest, actually, my oldest is 29, 30. She's 30. Excuse me.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
So I'm a grandpop.
Yeah, that was my next question.
No, that's really cool. I mean, I just when you're younger, you just think you don't ever want to be one, and then you get the opportunity to be one, and I just my grandson just had his 13th birthday, so I was able to take him out to dinner. We took him out to dinner, and we were able to give him a large amount of cash, and I was able to just tell him to spend it as frivolously as he wanted to, because I'm your grandpapa and I can say that.
Yeah, if you want to give away any more large amounts of cash,
we're right here.
Yeah, we're
on
right
your
here.
birthday. Give me a call. We'll go out and meet. I have a problem.
Now, do you spoil the grandkids? Are you that kind of granddad?
No, not really. I'm pretty much I've always been pretty much a realist with my kids. If my girls wanted the answer that they wanted to hear, they went to Mom. If they wanted the truth, they came to Dad.
She's not listening. She's not listening, is she?
No. Listen, we've had 25 years of blessed marriage, and no matter how I spin it, no matter how I'm a really blessed man to have what I have. So no, it's all good.
Now, do you are you still a worship leader, or is that something that's in your past now?
I still do it, but I don't do it in a full-time capacity anymore. I had a long run at a church, and it was time. It was just time for me I felt like I needed to be out traveling around more, and so what I did was my calendar kind of. I have dates where I'm actually leading worship in a church, or I may be at a concert or a coffee house, or I may be in a secular concert event. So, there's a bit. The event itself determines the actual material that I'm doing, the set list that I'm going to do. But all the stuff is always it's always a positive message. It's always scripture based. And Dig Love is an album I've been supporting for a little over a year now. They're situation songs, they're story songs, they're songs that open up conversations about faith.
Gotcha.
So those I play all over the place.
Yeah, I would love to see you in that type of setting, like the coffee house, like the songwriters around, that kind of thing, because I bet you're a lot of fun.
I don't have, I'm really comfortable with who I am. I never felt the need to be somebody else or to try to make people like me. I didn't want to sacrifice the creative process to do that. So it's been difficult at times to fit in because we live in a society we want everything in its neat little box. We want to categorize everything into a genre.
Sure.
And I'm like in the cracks all over the place. I'm like filler. Because I grew up listening to all kinds of music. My father was a jazz pianist, had a little bebop quintet, and they used to practice at the house once in a while. And my mother transferred her culture down to me through singing songs to me and stuff. And So when it came time to write, or when it comes time to write, once I get an idea, wherever the music feels like it needs to go to support the message, that's where I go. Mm-hmm. And sometimes albums or seem to be in more of the same space than others. Some of them are jump all over the place. And but I think that's the process of writing. Like I said, I write all the time.
Well, it's kind of like I think it's more about having fun for you than it is anything else, right?
Well, yeah, I really do have a passion for what I do, and I really do love what I get a chance to do. It's never a burden. It's never a job. It's the best gig is always the next one. Mm-hmm. I can't wait for the next one I'm going to do. The best song is always the next one I'm going to write, or I'm working with the one I'm working on, and same thing. Good. Even in the studio, it's the same type of approach.
Yeah, that's good, because we have a lot of indie artists that listen to the show too, and I'm sure I think that's good advice. I think for anybody that's listening, because I think when it becomes a burden or when it becomes a job, maybe it's time to look at something else.
Right.
Yeah, well, I think there's an awful lot of pressure to try to. The world measures success in a lot of different ways, none of which I really subscribe to.
Well, sure. It kind of comes down to how you measure success, not how the world measures it, right?
Right. Well, see, I've been. It really does. The management part of it came very natural to me as I was a young man and decided to, leave school after a couple of years because I needed to play full time and get it out of my system. And a lifetime later, it's obviously never going to be out of my system. But I was thoughtful enough to realize that I didn't want to live a life of debt because I was going to be a musician.
Sure.
As soon as the debt piles up, you start to have to play what people are paying big bucks for. You can't play what you want to play. It changes everything. Mm-hmm. And so I really never wanted that. So I've always made sure that I had we like I said, we're blessed. We live very comfortably, and we have anything that anybody would want. And the cool thing is that we don't have debt.
Yeah, and you
that's always good.
And you sound like a just a happy, laid back kind of guy.
You seem very chill.
Yeah, I guess. I guess at this point in time, I don't know. There's a lot of people struggling out there. I don't want to,
Sure. Well,
a lot of it is because, like I said, because of the way I've chosen to live my life. Mm-hmm. I really did. I have no trouble waiting to get things. I was just talking to somebody just the other day. Yesterday, I got a car repair, and I was picking it up, and he was talking to me about somebody who was trying to put layaway back into place again. Some store was trying to bring back layaway, and I thought, good Lord, that's I'm trying to think back. How young was I when people were laying things away?
Yeah,
I remember that.
I thought about it, and I said, I got in a car and I'm driving home, and I'm thinking, wait a minute, it used to be that you would start making payments, and when you had all your payments in, you had a brand new thing to bring home. Now we buy it and we start making payments on it. When the payments are done, we don't want it anymore because now it's old.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
So we start the process over again. Mm-hmm. And it's really a dead end process. You're never happy. You're never working to get something new and bring it home. Mm-hmm. By the time you paid it off. So the cycle is, from a business standpoint, the cycle is alarming, for the purchaser on this end. That's how I look at it.
There's a lot to be said about living within your means, I think.
Yeah, well, I think if you're an artist and a creative, especially, because most of the time you're not in the 9-to-5 world with benefits and things like that. So you have to be a little bit smarter, and it doesn't always come. Sometimes it's harder for. I've had a lot of friends who struggled with it, and I'm not sure why my mind works the way it does. It's probably part of my upbringing and part of my faith, I guess.
Yeah, sure. I mean, some days, when you're anybody, you don't have to be an artist, but I mean, it might be ramen noodles some night, and then you might score big one week and be able to have steak.
Hey, I mean, if you're going to do ramen noodles, you got to do it up right. It's got to be chicken ramen noodles, and it's got to have hot sauce on it.
Let me tell you, I could write a cookbook on ramen noodles. And we don't eat them. When we do eat them, it's not because we have to. It's because we actually enjoy what we created with them.
Well, after a while, you kind of get used to it. It becomes a comfort food.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, absolutely.
That's like I had this stage where that's like all I ate for like months was hot sauce and ramen noodles.
You did, yeah. You went through them too, and I was happy as I could be because the grocery bill was so small. Yeah,
yeah. That's good stuff.
Now, when you sit down to write a song, I mean, is it you writing the song, or do you feel like maybe you're getting some advice from somebody a little bigger than you?
Yeah, I don't really feel like they're mine. I always feel like this, from any. You're a man of faith, and you're going through life. You're trying to follow. You're trying to live a spirit-led life. You're trying to let something else guide you, so that you don't screw it up. So the songs that I write myself, I try a lot of times to leave at home, and the ones that I feel are more spirit-led are the ones that are the ones that are usually more engaging with people. And that doesn't have to be in a worship setting. It's just there's just good, solid, positive messages in the songs about overcoming and the power of love.
Sure.
That's really great.
Now you've got have you already released your new album, or is that still in the works?
I got backed up for a while, so there was a little bit of misinformation out there. The Consequence, which was the follow-up, which will be the follow-up to Dig Love, was supposed to be released in September, but I actually had 3 worship albums that sold out through June, May and June.
Okay.
Just coincidence that they were older albums, and rather than repress all 3 of them, I chose at this point. I mean, you can still get them. You still get digital copies, but rather than press hard copies of them, I chose to go back in the studio and kind of remix and remaster a dozen songs that were the most engaging from those albums.
Oh, that's a good idea.
And they're the ones that I do most of the time. They're the ones that people ask for, and at a live event, people still want something in their hand when they leave. Mm-hmm. They give them a digital download thing, but most people they still want to hold something. They want the album, or they want the CD in their hand.
So if I show up, I just want you to sign my chest. That's all I want.
He'll take his shirt off and he'll be like, "Sign my chest, please," and then take a selfie.
And then a
with
selfie,
me.
Yeah,
you gotta have the selfie.
That's good.
I wouldn't want a selfie of that. It would be different for me. But the release of. So I made this compilation. It was called Reprise, and I released that the first week of September. And I've been real happy with that. The response has been very positive. It's really filled a void in my live events, and but it pushed the Consequence back to November. It's actually going to drop on November 8th, Election Day, and the pre-sale will be the 11th of October.
That's a time where people might need a little extra guidance, I think.
Right.
Well, as it is, the Consequence was really about our ability to sway the consequence of events in life by our actions and the things we say and the things we do. And so it's not completely ironic at this point that it's going to be on Election Day.
Sure.
In 2016 especially.
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel like, this is a side note here, but I feel like the world changes every time we get a new president.
Mm-hmm.
I think so. I think so too. Yeah. The world changes anyway.
Because
you
when
tend
I
to
was a
notice
kid,
it more. I think.
Yeah, but it was like when I was a kid, the world was different when Bush was president, and then when Obama became president, we got all this social media and stuff, and now it's just it keeps changing.
Yeah.
Yeah, the technology part of it is it's scary sometimes how quickly things are moving, and from where I sit, it's a major part of what for me to measure success sometimes.
Sure.
And you're never quite so you constantly want to stay abreast of changes and all, but you're never quite you never quite arrive, because as soon as you think if you've gotten there, it's changed again. It's 10, 20 feet ahead.
Yeah, it's like you got to lock down on Facebook, then all of a sudden, Instagram's big, and then
it's an ongoing race. It's a long distance run for me, and I'm always trying to stay as close to the pack as possible.
Yeah,
I don't want to drift too far behind.
It ain't easy, brother. It's not.
No, well, one of the wonderful things for me was my daughter. When she finally decided what she wanted to go to school for, my youngest one, that is, she still lives at home here. She wanted to go to school for web design and interactive media, and I said, "Yeah, good choice."
Help Dad out. You could just let your 13-year-old grandson take care of all of it for you. You'll be good.
Yeah, he's he let me know that when he got to the place, and immediately he was in one of those kiosk game setters on the at the table.
What's up with all these 13-year-olds being like geniuses on the computer?
Dude, that's just how it is. That's just how it is.
It's been they've had that technology base their whole life.
Yeah, they were born with it. We had to learn it. There's a big difference. Yeah,
it's completely natural for them.
Right,
just completely natural.
Now, I want to play some of your songs, because we've got 3, and I don't want to run out of time before we get to them. The first one I've got, it's called "I'm Setting My Mind on You." So tell me a little bit about this one and where it came from.
When I did Dig Love, most of the songs, all the songs actually on Dig Love, were really reflective of the period I was going through, and I think I was really just overwhelmed with what I was seeing and hearing in the news and what was going on in the world, more so maybe than in the past. And I'm Setting My Mind on You. It was a song about our ability to focus on positive things. If that makes sense. Depending on what it is, or who it is, or what it is that gets you from point A to point B. At different times in our life, we focus in on different things, and it helps keep us on the path, because the world's constantly pulling at us and tugging at us. And like we talked about earlier, the world says, buy it now and be in debt. The world says, you have it immediately. Don't wait. Just, there's all these things that, if you listen to it and you buy into it, I think that there's much more stress in your life. So for me, setting my mind on, for me, it's a faith thing. Setting my mind on God, setting my mind on something positive that's going to give me the strength to not be the purchaser. To say, this would be better off if I waited till January and did this,
sure.
or maybe I shouldn't go here. I should just stay here in place. Those types of events was really at the core of the song.
Yeah, a lot of times, the best advice is advice people don't want to hear, but it's true, right?
Yeah, amen.
Yeah. All right, so this is called "I'm Setting My Mind on You," Eddy Mann, right here on the Chris Stop program.
I'm setting my mind on you. I'm setting my mind on you. It don't matter what the neighbors say, 'cause I never do listen anyway. I'm setting my mind on you. I'm dialed in, right smack on you. I'm dialed in, right smack on you. It don't matter how my good friends feel, 'cause whatever they think, it's no big deal. I'm dialed right smack on you. Spot on, you're right for me. I never felt so good. Hold on, look at me. I finally understood. I'm setting my mind on you. Setting my mind on you. I've got my sights fixed on you. I've got my sights fixed on you. It don't matter about the worldview, 'cause it never seems like they have a clue. My sights are fixed on you. Here they are. Setting my mind on you. Setting my mind on you. I'm setting my mind on you. I'm setting my mind on you. What the neighbors say, 'cause I never do listen anyway. I'm setting my mind on you. It don't matter how my good friends feel, 'cause whatever they think, it's no big deal. I'm dialed in, right smack on you. I never felt so good.
Talking with Eddy Mann, and that song is called I'm Setting My Mind on You. If you missed the beginning of the show, you can always go back and check that out on iHeart or Stitcher or Spreaker or any of those places for
any
sure.
Any of the other places.
Any of those other places. I don't remember what they... So has anybody ever called you funky?
Yeah.
Because that beat was pretty funky.
You're pretty funkadelic.
It's a Philly thing, you know. You brought up in Philly, you got to have some R&B in you.
That's true. That's true. Now, if I want to go out and like get a hard copy of this, or if I just want to like download the songs, like where do I find you at?
EddyMann.com is always the best place to start. EddyMann.com, and you can get hard copies for everything from the website. There's actually a couple older albums and things on there that you can't find elsewhere. Mm-hmm. But on Facebook at Facebook.EddyMann /EddyMann.musician, and Twitter is Eddy _man.
Okay, and what do you stay on? What are you on the most? Like, say, if somebody wants to ask you a question or something.
Actually, I'm in contact with all three of those constantly.
Nice. Okay.
And I encourage people. You know, one of the cool things about of the media that we have and the technology we have today, that it's much more easier to be in contact with people that aren't necessarily in your backyard. You can be in contact with people all over the world. So I'm constantly encouraging those that are touched by the songs, or if you really hate a song, I would really love to hear from you. Mm-hmm. I just love being in conversation with people and being able to share ideas. And from a creative standpoint, most artists, we create because we want you to get something out of you. We want to inspire you, or we want you to feel stuff. And the only way we know, we get, without the feedback, we would never know. I mean, something in a live event, you can get a feel. So I encourage people with the technology we have to contact me any way possible, and I will be glad to respond.
Sure, and just let you have it. Honesty matters.
I'm in.
Yeah,
it's kind of cool with social media, because it's like you can basically travel the world without leaving your house.
Mm-hmm. And you can get all kinds of different
perspectives.
Perspective from anybody.
I was sharing with my youngest daughter not that long ago. I said that I would travel 2 hours to do a 15-minute spot on the radio. Mm-hmm. And now in 2 hours at home here, I could do 5 or 6 15-minute spots.
Yeah, I mean, where are you at? Where are you at right now?
What was that?
I said, where are you at right now?
Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, so you're in Pennsylvania, and we're here in Clarksville, Tennessee, and you could still have your boxers on. Nobody's going to know. Yeah.
There you go. Actually, I'm coming down Tennessee in another week or so.
Oh, well, you need to let us know for sure. Are you going to be playing anywhere? Or are you coming to record, or what are you doing?
What's the name of the TV show? The Antique Archaeology.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the name of the show. It's that history station. They have the guys that go out and they've got a store down there right in Nashville called Antique Archaeology, and I'll be down in Nashville for an award show on the 8th, October 8th, and I'm actually going to be doing a performance at their place on the 8th. I believe
nice.
It's in the morning. I think it's
so. All the details will be on your website.
Yeah, everything's on the website.
Nice. And that's eddymann.com, EDDYMANN.com. Okay, so I want to move on because we've only got about 10 minutes or so left. So this one's called Another Trip Around the Sun. Give me a little insight on this one.
I actually wrote this in December a couple years ago, and I was... we come up to the New Year, and the tendency is to always look forward. Where I'm going to make a New Year's resolution. Each year you pick which one you're going to quit on, and so I was just in a much more reflective point, and rather than looking forward, I was looking back over the past year and questioning my own life, whether was anybody's life any better for knowing me. Mm-hmm. It's just kind of a blanket question. Go back over there. Was anybody have anybody's life more enriched or better because of the fact that they knew me, or was the world in any way a better place? And that was it. It's all I really needed. The song grew out of that mindset, and it's kind of nice now because the past year I did the same thing. I kind of went back instead of worrying about some superficial thing that I'm not
sure.
that I'm not going to keep. The drive of to do a better job each year was there now. It's a good, nice measuring stick for me.
Yeah, it's funny because just last night I had a conversation with my daughter, and she's, wanting to go out and do things and change the world and help people and all this stuff, and and I think it's good just to start with the people around you, and try to make little differences in their lives, and I think that's
what's a small?
Cool.
I mean, it becomes big over time.
Sure.
We're taking these small steps can add up and add up and add up. And I heard a guy the other day was talking about. I'll see how can I do this real quick. He was talking about it was a dietary thing, and he said if you cut out one cookie a day, it's only 200 calories. By the end of if you do that for a week, you're now up to 1,400 calories. So if you do that for a year, it was I think it was 40,000. It was comparable to fasting for 40 days.
Oh wow!
Wow.
But it's the little things over a long period of time that holds true when you're being a good servant and helping, or you want to do good in the world. A little bit each day, it can be massive over the course of a year.
Sure. I like the cookie analogy. That's a good way to look at it. Yeah. It made me want a cookie though. Okay,
no cookies.
Another Trip Around the Sun, Eddy Mann.
Soldiering on without haste, moving into the new with an awareness of the past and the guilty pleasures of waste. Face to the past, to the future. Time doesn't wait for the start. Moving through a door from one side to the other. Peace lays heavy on my heart. Another Another trip around the sun, and what have I done? Are there lives that are better for knowing me? Another trip around the sun, and what have I done? Is the world a better place for us to be? Trip around the sun, and what have I done? Are there lives that are better for knowing me? Another trip around the sun, and what have I done? Is the world a better place for us to be? Just one voice, love can be heard. With just one hand, love can be felt. With just one smile, love can be seen. With just one heart, change can begin. Dig love, dig love.
You are listening to the Chris Top program. That's another trip around the sun. Eddy Mann. How's your throat, Eddie?
Yeah.
That was really cool. I haven't heard that probably in 6-8 months, and it's so loud and so big now. The end of that song, and I forgot how I wanted it to be very contemplative when I was recording it, and I didn't go big. I went kind of quiet and kind of dreamy, but live it's changed so much. So that's kind of cool. I'll have to remember that.
How cool is it to go back and listen to something and still like it? Because I bet there's times you go back and listen to something and you're like, man, what was I thinking when I wrote that?
My songs are I never think that they're finished anyhow. So, and the guys in my band are very cool about that. The songs are growing and changing all the time, but it's always nice to go back and revisit them and kind of get an idea of where they started from, because sometimes you can get, again, a little bit each time.
Right.
You can grow into you can get a lot of distance away from the original message.
Sure. Now, any superhero power, what would you pick, Eddie?
I'm showing my faith here, but I have to go with wisdom. I want like the big W. Some people would think it would be Superwoman, but I'm good with my maleness. But to be able to have all that knowledge and then have the judgment, to not misuse it, to use it the right way.
It seems like by the time you figure a lot of stuff out, then you're dead.
Yeah, well, as you get older, it sure feels that way.
And if you had 5 minutes to sit down with anybody and have a cup of coffee, who would it be?
There are just so many people, but
it's a hard question.
Yeah, they're just there's an endless line of people, but a man of faith would have to be Jesus. I don't know how anybody could be that loving in a world.
Sure.
It's just I wake up each day and I think this is the day. This is the day I'm going to just love everybody, and then I walk out my door and I meet another human being. And the challenge begins.
This is great. So true. I feel the exact same way.
That's an honest answer. That's really wonderful. Okay, so we've got to get this going because we're almost out of time.
Sure.
This is called "Love Is Splendiferous." So tell me about this.
I've mentioned a few times today how blessed I am. There have been moments in my life where the community, the loving family, the things that have been placed in my life, I think at one point or another, hopefully everybody has been in that place where they've been overwhelmed by the love of someone else or their maker, and you become speechless. The words can't describe it, and that's where splendiferous came from. It's
a good word. You don't see that word in songs every day.
No, it freaks a lot of people out. They don't think it's a real word. I got to tell them, go to Webster's and check it out.
Eddie looked it up before he wrote the song.
I didn't think it was a real